even though he stumbled a little early and had a little bit of a whoopsie into the bottom lane, he's still so good on the pick later on. They respect it, they ban it away. I like that.
We call it Keen Sante for a reason in the LCK. Senna could be the angle, but no, instead, looks like we're going to get still aggression, but a different type. I love the Ashe. I do think it's insanely strong, and the Sejuani with it in the second rotation can be quite huge here, although Nidalee is, of course, still open.
So are they going to go to the Kalista lane then? Because Kalista up and being traded. Are they going to do the steal on the Varus as well? Kalista Varus combo again? Huh?
Ooh, with Lahens? I don't know, Lahens?
Don't trust him.
No. But I trust Lahens, but not specifically that. I'd be more thinking towards something like either a Rumble or, I don't know, it's Lahens. For all I know, he might pull out the Singed again. As I like the Sejuani pick. Obviously, BLG can pick the Nidalee here, but Sejuani combined with Ashe is super obnoxious to play into.
It's also for Shun individually one of his most solid picks. He's played it 3 times. He's won 2 out of those 3 games. The Xin was looking like his best pick coming into the series, but it was dismantled as we got later into the game. So I like to see the adaptation. You talked about it as an option for the side of Gen.G. It's BLG instead, who are going to pick up the Varus Ashe combo.
Yep, thank you very much. Very, very powerful double Hail of Blades combo. Let's see what we run with it here for BLG. Mid lane champion pool has been kind of the focus there, but they were comfortable with dropping it last game. So maybe they've just decided we're comfortable with Knight having, you know, the tier 2 and just play some of those enablers, some of those engagement champions.
I'm surprised to not see the tank match. I just thought we might see a Maokai for Sejuani trade. Wukong, another pick that Shun has really gone to. I don't love it, but the Xin's out priority, despite a pretty difficult mid to late game, still being picked up.
And particularly because Shun is the other guy where he picks Nidalee, you go, okay. And it came up originally as a counter pick into the Sejuani. Not going to be the case here. Instead, still going to be that early game dominance. Those 1-3 bet, that combination, that 1-2, that Yone Sejuani.
If you thought Yone was scary without Sejuani, yeah, Yone with Sejuani and the extra stuns, oh my goodness.
Sometimes I feel like, Chobi, you have to buy the DLC to get another pick out of the champ pool. Like, you have to beat this Yone before you're going to see anything else from him.
Make me pick something else.
Do it, you won't.
Also, Canyon and Chovy on Sejuani and Yone is like the actual Kobe and Shaq combo right now, where they're setting up the dunks after dunks after dunks. That is going to make... I am so scared for Knight. Let's say I am very, very scared for Knight.
A lot of empathy, and most of that is fear at this exact moment.
There it is, the Rumble ban. Guarantee you that is looking towards Lahens, the Jester towards the bot lane. Do still need to get a support. Maybe Renata to come through here as well, as the Annie paying respect to Knight in his series against T1.
Trying to take away some of the utility options, not wanting to deal with the obnoxious pressure that an Annie can put down, obviously just dropping the Tibbers at any opportunity. Is there something else in the pool for Lahens, however? What else does BLG want to take away? Nico, the other kind of common aggressive Kalista pairing, would suffer against an Ashe Varus, and perhaps we're in a situation where we see another early lane swap just to get away from those all-impactful couple levels. Interestingly, it's the Jax denying one of the other premier Sejuani pairings.
And yeah, maybe you want to pick Camille, then Camille just pull out some 1v9 type of action.
It does double duty because it also is one of the few great picks into the TF. Yeah.
What? The crank! The god hand!
The crank! Against double AD, we've seen this come through. Because obviously your 2 immobile AD carries, yeah, you have double Halo Blades, but one misstep, it can get blown up in seconds.
Okay, are they gonna do the Camille or the Twisted Fate for the side lane for BLG here? Nico again.
Question. Taking their time. Knight's Azir. Instead, going to be the Orianna, conservative choice. Did not look great in the last series. Obviously paired with the Xin, though, it can be incredibly lethal.
There it is.
And this is the gauntlet. If you lock this in, whatever you lock in, Keen has to have that counter pick ready to go. How deep are we in? Do the Fioras come back? How far into the matchup are they willing to tread?
There's no way.
All right.
But that gets locked in.
Ben with his original account name, Love Camille, back on the Camille. You saw it yesterday. Cleanest Camille I've ever seen. And they really need it now. They really need it now, because this comp here from Gen.G, this one is action-packed, and they've got counter pick secured for Keen. Just gonna go the Zac into it.
Zac Perhaps an immediate lane swap then could just come through. Zach much better in the lane swap than the Camille is normally, but Camille can get aggressive on the level 1.
I think it definitely is because, like, at least just for some levels, right? Because you're facing the Varus Ashe that we saw thrown down really, really early on. The double hail of blades is always crazy hard to deal with. Maybe you want to go on-hit Varus, though. Actually, now looking at this lineup, I definitely would want on-hit Varus rather than the poke Varus. So maybe not the double Hell of Blades, but still a very scary duo.
And if we take the context of the lane matchup away, Zach has been incredibly lethal this tournament against immobile carries. Orianna, Varus, gonna struggle against the Elastic Slingshot. Doubly so
and
when
Ashe
there's a Yone ready to follow up, when there's a Sejuani ready to follow up. It's gonna be a tall task for BLG in this game too.
It's gonna be that 1-2 of Bin going in with the ball, maybe being helped out by an arrow as well, because again, BLG don't have a front line. If they are not playing on the front foot, if they're not able to take control in the mid game and fully choke Gen G out, I think the team fights are going to be extremely hard to play. Obviously, the side lane pressure is great, but we saw Gen G mitigate that in the last game.
Also, I really want to see some level 1 stuff here from Gen G. They've got the Blitzcrank, and this is a kill lane, right? You're always picking this Blitzcrank for the kill onto the Ashe Varus early on. Can you blow some summoner spells in a level 1 maybe? Can you force something here against Elkanon to really open some bottom lane play for Pays and Lehens? Because Pays and Lehens in the last series they had versus BLG were huge.
And again, continuing to defy expectations, fell very far behind in the first game. It wasn't really about them. In this game, it has the potential to be scaling. Not really the name of the game here for the side of Gen G. Incredible team fighting tools, but now the pressure is on them to get aggressive, to find the hooks, to find the Elastic Slingshots, and shut down BLG.
All right, show me something spicy in the level 1. Fully grouped in River at the moment. Lehens, Lehens, Lehens. The crank on the Rift.
Nice observing there. Didn't see on really using a little pocket of vision. And
cool.
I think the thing with the invade specifically is that it's also maybe the most iconic invade. The Blitzcrank level 1 has been in the game since forever. Looks like Gen G doesn't want the risk. And as you were saying, Kobe, look at that. Lehens and Pace heading towards the lane swap, which is where we do expect the Zac to have less of a difficulty as long as Chovy can play around that hookshot level.
Also in the early levels, you can just walk up with a Rocket Fist as Blitzcrank, use your mana shield. Diving is pretty achievable task, especially against an early level Camille. But BLG fighting to reclaim vision on the level 1, waiting until about 130 to make sure that if anyone was here, they could get meaningful damage.
Bin wants to 1v4 to start the game out. He's feeling good.
Trying to limit Canyon, Elastic Slingshot doesn't connect, and here comes Lehens. Kitty Cat hand, not gonna get used. That skin is so goofy.
It is.
It's like the Meowkai cat skin. It's like, what are we supposed to talk about in a game 5 when Meowkai ults?
His ult, I assume.
The deadly cat coming again.
Here we go. Cheddar Cheese Man leaping forward.
Oh,
it's not that. Oh, it's a Chroma. My bad. It's not Cheddar Cheese Man.
One of the big things here is that they're really keeping a tight eye on where Bin is to take away the volatility that the Camille has in the early levels. Chovy in particular, we saw in the last laning phase, did really well in the Yone.
Look at the mini-map. He's circling. You nailed it, Chronicler. He's circling. He's circling. Bin always looking for these ganks towards mid lane.
Q3, though. Chovy doesn't use it for the trade, doesn't use it to get aggressive, just holds on to it, knowing he has about 6 seconds where he's difficult to gank, but that 6 seconds is up. Bin will walk at him menacingly. W not gonna hit either. A little bit of extra poke. Bin just being here is making this lane annoying. The hook shot, now the flash! Chovy just wants XP so bad, he's willing to risk burning the flash.
Again, an early flash force onto Chovy in his lane. This time though, the Orianna Knight should be able to utilize this really aggressively, and we see even with an extra member towards the top side of the map, due to the resistances on an Elk and the fact that the double AD carry, gonna have a great time with those plates.
I just like that interaction because it plays into the hero narrative of this series leading up to it.
Yeah.
Everyone hyping up Bin 1v9 and Chovy in the mid lane, the god for Gen G. Yet usually they're lane mismatch, so Bin goes to find him in mid, blows a flash.
Just, Kobe, he's so humble. You know, he's willing to concede so much CS that he surely would have gotten against 3 people just to burn Chovy's flash.
But that is
trap.
one of the most useful things that top laners do in lane swaps is pay their visits towards mid. But here's the teleport in.
Punish. Hook perfectly timed by Lahens. We haven't seen it in a while, but that's the crank, baby.
Right from the get-go, Bin not able to step out, and crucially, BLG thought that the bot lane of Genji had already back, so they were setting up a trap to try to catch them when they made their way back to the turret, but instead, they misread, and Genji are just waiting.
And one of the reasons why I was talking about the lane swap early on is that Blitzcrank is also really good in lane swaps, not just because, if you can time it perfectly on the hook on the arrival of the teleport, but he has really good tower damage. Your E reset for your auto attack, your W attack speed as well. So actually quite a good lane swap.
Knight.
Didn't have to do him like that. Although we always do with Chovy as well.
Does get the canyon. Level 5 to level 3. So much XP denied in the earlier play, but he is going to catch a big wave here. Has been just tries to recuperate. Of course, Keen is the one who has been suffering. Really no time to pick up XP, but honestly, if he stays at level 2 and he keeps Bin down there with him, it's a big win for the side of Gen G.
Possible 2v2.
You grew. Go back, Shun, does he want to follow? Wind becomes lightning, good damage on a Chovy. They know he has no flash, but Canyon shows, lets them know he will be there to punish.
Yeah, if he did not, I think Shun probably goes for it. He was priming his Q3 on the minions there to try and go for a dive onto Chovy.
Bin's on his way.
Level 3 Camille, diving between the
No
towers.
flash.
Chovy in trouble, the hook shot, the wall dive, it does not matter. He tries to dodge, but there's just too much damage.
It's Bin! He comes back for Chovy! They've all got eyes on Chovy. They take him down and he gets a turret plate afterwards too.
And when we talked about Bin's Camille, I thought it was going to be top Camille, not jungle Camille, but here we are, level 3 ganks, level 1 ganks.
Okay, but is that worth? Because Chovy just TP's back to lane, you invested 4 people towards mid, and Keen is just catching waves. The kill going over to Bin, I think, is quite huge, but especially with the flash invested as well, I think Gen G are going to take this.
Ultimately, I'm not good at math, but it did look cool. And now we're going to see if Lahens can land another hook. Knock up there, Glacial to make sure the slow and on is in trouble. Lahens is on fire in this game.
Lahens clutching it here for Gen G, just walks right in. The 1,000 gold lead now for Pays over Elk. Not to mention the double summoners. So you're gonna see repeats. This is a kill lane, they want more kills, and double boots of swiftness as well for the bottom lane of Gen G.
One of the big things in the previous game was BLG had such a big lead on their bot lane. Elk and On were being rotated around the map and utilized as such a great pressure tool.
And with the double boots of swiftness by, you can roam very, very heavily so quickly. They're gonna come out, reset from mid lane here towards those Void Grubs, secure the objective first for the team.
And also, if you're on, that slow is so much less effective. Blitzcrank is just going to walk up and punch you. You don't even have to hit the hooks anymore. If you find isolated members on the side of BLG, this is getting harder. Bin wants time to scale, wants time to get items, can keep trying to make cheeky plays, but Keen, very comfortable for now in the 1v1. The sustain he has is so hard for any champion at a deficit to deal with.
Obviously, as we get later into the game, Bin is going to eat Keen like toast. I don't think Zach is going to do a whole lot when that Camille Q2 comes through with Tiamat and with the Triforce, but we are very far off of that. That's not going to be relevant for quite a while. As Lahens, he is just on a merry jaunt. He's walking his way around the rift, living his best life.
And we've always known Lahens has been a very creative player, right? I think that's how a lot of people were introduced to Lahens. But the consistency he's shown in the last 2 series is damn good to see. The pullback is there, doesn't interrupt the Fate Sealed. Well played by Chovy.
On the Ashram timing there from On as well as he passes down to the bottom side. Now, Lahens did use the Hextech Flash over the wall and then actually didn't pass by the Tri-Brush, so didn't clear out that ward there either. And On is just camping mid, continually sending more and more resources here to deny this Yone, deny Chovy from CSing at all. They're keeping him down to 42 CS at almost 8 minutes.
And when we talk, again, about Gen G, you almost always start with Chovy. He is the center, he is the hero, he is the person at the heart of this team. And BLG have recognized it. They're burning every resource they have to try to take him out of the equation. The question is, who on Gen G is going to rise up in the meantime? And right now, the answer is the bottom lane.
Yeah, and it's definitely not going to be Elk here doing some hard carrying in the early stages. He also getting zoned off. Canyon is level 6, of course. You have to respect this as Sejuani engage.
Chovy doesn't have TP.
On. Face checking the bush. Initial CC locking up. He's trying to backstep. Permafrost is there, but Knight is body blocking. Lahen's hitting the hook in the nick of time, and down goes the support, but Shun looking to follow up. Face call to bring him back. Knight committing for the kill. Now 3 members in the pen. Knight in the midst of everybody. Knight just trying to hold on. Cloud Drake starting to do a little bit more damage. Knight's got nowhere to go. Pays! Rips the spear out of him! And now Chobi's arrived, looking for the Q3, ready to go over the wall. Soul unbound, can't follow. Flash forward, Q3 about to come through. Elk trying desperately to make it out to safety, but now the follow-up is there. He snaps back into the waiting arms of Jun. Jun knocks him aside and takes down Pays.
Bin is on the way too. They're not even done. BLG want the extended fight. The Camille here has ultimates, but they can't chase into the darkness of the jungle.
Even though they get that exit kill, nicely done by Shun, making use of the chaos there. That is still such a big win for Gen G. They get the topside turret, Bin roamed over, and the fight was already done. And it's a great trade for Gen G.
It certainly was, and it was all about Lahen's again. This Blitzcrank, the pull in, he yoinks over for the instant kill, and then look as he separates from Kalista for the escape. Really nicely done in a 3v4 situation where they have the Varus threatening them from the bottom side. It's Lahen who pulls in the quick burst kill, and then he's able to separate from Pays, so Pays can ult and flash him into the pit as well. And then they finish off Knight.
So Canyon autoed the dragon, and then the knockback knocked Knight back, which was funny because then as a result, Lahen's didn't hit him, but it was still enough. And then here, great timing by Shun, because otherwise I think Elk dies, Pace maybe picks up another kill, and that could have been things going even worse for BLG.
And while it was disaster avoided for BLG, again, excellent execution from the side of Gen G, establishing themselves as a dominant force in the early game here. 10 minutes in, they got a 2K gold lead, 3 grubs. A Drake has yet to fall. Not going to be focused in the same way it was in game 1, and Knight individually still holding on to a decent lead, but it's just going to be so hard to play Orianna against this composition.
One of the biggest soccer points coming in, and the reason why Canyon and Keen coming over was such a big deal is because it did often feel like if Chovy was ever taken out of the game, either in this manner by being focused or by just not playing well, the team would falter. So this is a really big test for Gen G. Can the rest of the team step up? Right now, at least in terms of early game, they're looking decent, should be able to get extra plates here as well.
Yeah, I love that because they're looking so good on a completely different style of composition. They are so melee and short range heavy, and they have to keep on forcing like this, and they are making play after play after play.
MSI finally showing us more. Good catch initially on the Canyon.
Whoa.
Follow-up C is there. They're willing to burn every ulti they got. Elk gonna grab the kill.
Very nicely done by BLG. Elk not wanting to just take the hits that Gen G is throwing at them. Get a big pick on Canyon. That's also going to mean that the grubs are going to be denied. And we do need to, again, take into account the offensive power of BLG. If they can single out a target, insanely strong.
Excellent reaction from On. 1/10 of a second less. Just try to react to that. Does survive. A good hook from Lahen's. Has to be careful, though. Still relatively squishy, all things considered.
It's
He won't be. Fair enough.
Possible TP angle here.
Servers excellently highlighted. Hextech ultimatum to deny the elastic slingshot. Let's bounce coming out from Keen. He's still a very tanky Zac. Now just trying to wander away to safety. Tack sweep can offer a little bit of a slow. Keen slowly but surely getting cut down. Passive proc. TP there for Chovy, but it doesn't look like he's going to use it. Quick pick on the top side for BLG.
Big thing there was that there wasn't enough of a response of Gen G. Canyon was moving towards the area, but they didn't think they would get there in time. Shun was already there, so even if Chovy TP's in, that could backfire immensely. They don't take the risk, and again, BLG get these picks, and the gold lead is starting to shrink.
Yeah, really nice couple of picks here in the last few minutes for BLG. Scraping together some money for themselves, try and get their first item completions, and there you go, the first one for Knight. Gets his Ludens.
Strong item spike, almost level 11. When he has that cooldown back up, the shockwave going to be massive in the fights.
Remember, this offensive power you keep highlighting for BLG, and they have so many ways to make picks. The Ash Arrow into this Orianna shockwave that is delivered by Camille. They have a lot of burst potential, a lot of offensive power here if they're able to get the setup. And the importance of clearing out wards on their own side so that On can get some Fog of War to fire the Ash Arrow greatly increases their chances of success, but walking into Keen doesn't.
Definitely not ideal. He'll use just for the movement speed. Gen G don't have information in the jungle anymore, so they don't want to overcommit. But On staying a little bit too long here. Shun can try to disengage, but the Ash is already down. Lahen's now going to fish for the hook, but holds on to it. just a quick pick. Again, Gen G, good use of Canyon.
Important here is that there is no objective besides the mid lane turret. Are they going to dive out? Because the sums available, and we see the rotation comes through. Gen G wants to look for this.
Hook on to Shun. Knight there to try and follow up. Ulti immediately used. Gen G, are they happy with just that cooldown? The arrow to Pays, the most important target to hit with the interrupt. The CC denied the Fate's call. Pays making it out is disastrous for BLG.
Critical cleanse there from Pays also allows him to ult Lehens and pull him back now. Another one?
Another hook on to Shun, and again the follow-up is there. Pays this time gets the setup. The root's gonna connect, they're trying to body block for Lehens. He's still standing for now. Elk forced to flash out. Now the Q comes in, the stretching strikes doesn't even need it. Let's bounce going across to Elk. They don't quite have the damage though, and On and Elk are now on the chase. Bin in the midst of the fight, trying to take heat down. They know that he's got no passive, but Canyon's ready to frontline. The flash in! Lehens! Another hook! Another stun! Pays still alive, but they don't want to take the risk. Gen G backing away, knowing Knight is coming.
Crucially, this is lethality, not lethal tempo Kalista, so Pays great in short trades, but if he doesn't have his cooldowns, you want to play a little bit safer. In the end, BLG coming up huge, but Gen G finding some counter punches.
I just gotta say, Lehens on this Blitzcrank is insane accuracy. He was the one who burned on Splash in the first place and allowed that easy follow-up kill for Canyon later. He keeps on hitting hook after hook after hook, and Gen G are gonna need it because they do have the timer working against them this time around. If they're gonna do a longer fight, they need Chobi there. Lehens now.
Instantly gone. And that's the downside. Caught out, no spells left. They saw him flash in the previous fight. They're quick to make the pick.
Kobe hasn't finished his sentence, or we're already...
The instant curse?
Yeah, it's fair though. It's exactly what BLG want to do. As we see here, single target selection is great, but I think Gen G getting maybe a little bit over-eager in this longer fight, because a lot of damage comes down here in the NNL, but it's just the front line. So actually taking him down takes quite a while, and by the time Bin arrives, Bin obviously insanely strong at this point, because Lehens, yeah, he flash hooks, but he ends up going down almost immediately, and again, Pays, no lethal tempo, Halo Blades instead, so they lack the damage here to take down the Camille.
Yeah, and Chobi was farming the top side wave. This Yone really trying to get to first item, obviously. Super big breakpoint for the Yone, but Gen G will get right back to their dragon stacking while BLG take Herald.
Just the objective trade. Credit to Bin, 1-1-3 in this game. Still making an impact despite sacrificing so much for himself, of course. Doesn't have a gold lead over Keen as we see in the MasterCard lane economy snapshot. But it feels like a battle of Pays and Knight. Wasn't on my bingo card. Canyon goes a little bit wide there. Stun on the Chobi is decent for the follow-up, but now the hook coming in from Lehens. Boros ult is good, but the follow-up's not there. Shockwave only gonna hit onto one, and again, the Fate's call is there. BLG punishing beautifully to keep the fight going, but Gen G doing what they can to mitigate the damage.
The dive there from Gen G, little bit over-eager. BLG is always ready to scrap.
Lehens.
Not again.
Come on! He does not miss!
The God Hand is on the rift.
Q3 ready, knockup, Fate's call, hitting on to Knight, on flashes, but Knight cannot. Has to get out to safety, running, Pays tries to follow up with the Pierce, but it does not hit. Shutdown is huge.
Chobi's clean with it, gets both flashes right there. Knight barely escapes, On is put into the dirt, and Bin at least will pick up some side lane tower gold here on the Camille, continue scaling towards the dreaded 2-item power spike.
That said though, it feels like a bit of a flip, where now Gen G, yeah, they're taking a lot of skirmishes, but it's BLG picking up side lane waves, getting Bin to the point. The gold lead now there for him, and we've seen in the last series against T1 how big of a menace this guy can be on the Camille.
It's a really good note, because ultimately the hooks look good. It's hard not to be excited for Lehens.
But they don't get the mid-lane turret.
But they don't get the tower. Cooldowns are going wide. BLG keeping it even with a better scaling composition, and honestly, the execution here on both sides looking pretty good.
Yeah, they got the knock-up there. It is still, in the end, going to be the 1-for-1, but it's not a 1-for-1 for long, because the God Hand strikes again. Perfect accuracy. People keep clearing out wards. Now we got a passive proc on bottom side. What happened here? Bin.
Glenn just walks up. Power fist for the knockup, slow, extra CC. Bin trying to heal, flash away from Chobi, but Chobi's damn fast. But now the follow-up, the spear. What does it hit? It doesn't hit Bin.
Oh!
And look at the cross map. They had heralds. That's going to be an inner for BLG.
BLG, pressure on the top side. He might just keep this one going. Lehens the only one to respond so far. Knight, does he want to take the risk? Hex Flash is just going to use it as a taxi out. Quick ride home.
So tell me, Ben was able to pop Keen's passive and still survive with all of those members from Gen G chasing him so that the rest of his team is able to get objectives on top?
While also getting Chovy's flash. Yeah, he had to flash himself, but I think he'll take that as help.
Tries to ult to interrupt Lahen's. Arrow follow-up doesn't connect. Quick flash out. Chovy not able to find the follow-up. Could escape from Elk. Gets the flash, costs the ghost as well, but at least he holds on to his life.
Keen also invested the teleport. There's no objective up right now. Gen G are sitting at 2 Drakes, and I want to highlight, we haven't talked about it yet, but the Mountain Soul, I think, is absolutely huge. If Keen and Canyon in particular can get access to that, it's going to be really hard for a BLG, because it's going to be basically only Ben as Ben.
Ben.
Uh-oh.
Caught out. Where else does he want to go? Has already used the adaptive defenses, but should just die here. They don't do a lot of damage, but when there's 3 of them, it's going to be more than enough.
Of course, it's Lahen's.
They have to be a roaming death squad here on the side of Gen G, like you're talking about. Their win con is stacking dragons for the soul. This is a terrible team for siege.
They're keeping it going!
Kills.
Should trying to interrupt. Excellent use of the stopwatch coming from Knight, but he's still in the midst of 2. Elk standing back. He doesn't want to risk anything. TP now going in. Keen ready with the follow-up. It's another Zac, but a good shockwave, but an even better ulti coming in for Chovy to kill off the ADC. Lahen's looking for another hook angle, trying to find the ball, but it gets on! He actually cannot miss!
Lahen's with the point and click hands. Finds another, but it's again Gen G. They keep looking for the fight.
It's literally 20-minute Baron on spawn.
Are
Gen
you
G
kidding
going.
me?
All right, Shun is here. Shun has had some good fights so far this series.
Minus TP.
Morning passive stacking rapidly, helping them shred through the objective. It's lethality. Clicks them with the spears. Are still going to do a little bit of work. On finds the stun on the Lahen's. Rocks the Celestial opposition. Gen G, have they bet too much on this call? Lahen's waiting off the outside. Wants to keep Shun out of the pit. Crucially, Chovy eating forward, knowing the objective's already done. As long as he denies Ben, they'll get it. Purple Worm down. Ben in the middle of 5, and it was not the call they needed. Purple Worm for Gen G. Shun, though, wants to keep the fight on, is there. Knight waiting over the wall. He needs to find the angle, but the rest of his team is already dead. Keen not afraid to pull the trigger. Triple kill for Pays in the midst of it all.
And BLG tried to get themselves out of a bad situation, and instead it gets way worse, because in 10 seconds, the dragon is spawning!
This is so fun to watch. Gen G constantly forcing on the neutral objectives. They know they cannot siege, so they gotta be a roaming death squad. And even though Knight goes golden, he's not going to be able to escape. Knocked up, stunned up, and Gen G finish on their collapse here. Chovy goes through, finds the extra one on the pick.
It's the 1-2 there, with Knight taken out of the fight. We saw Chovy struggle with this as well.
It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The hands keep on flying.
You were talking about the 1-2 setup, but we didn't count in Lahen's. He's just hitting 3-pointers from across the court.
Look, we know about the golden left hand of the LPL. We forgot about the god hand of the LCK. I didn't expect it. It wasn't on any bingo card, but Lahen's on this Blitzcrank.
You never know with Lahen's, man.
He's just showing up in a way that I didn't think was possible in the context of this tournament.
They call him Lahen's for a reason. Let's see if he can do it again.
How many more Lahen's references will we have the time to make? Gen G with this Baron breaking through the bottom side of the map on. Doing what he can with the hawk shot, doing what he can. The Umbral Blade to clear out vision, but Gen G so firmly in control of 6K. Gold lead, 17 kills to 8. Soul point, they're just so far ahead.
And there's one guy that we haven't really talked about yet, because it doesn't feel like his impact is so big, but Pays is 10-1, which he is about to finish his GA.
Look, when the beefy boys show up, they need somebody to do the damage, and that has been Pays. Ben, though, in the 1v1, has 2 items, but doesn't have enough to fight 3 people. Again, it's the same story. Gen G are collapsing beautifully in this game.
Yeah, literally no 1v1s ever available on the entire map. Gen G death squad roaming around as a, wait a second, 4-1 split push here. This Baron buff is gonna be really hard to deal with for BLG. I mean, Chovy's moving up the side lane right now, and they can just use these cannons to slowly whittle away at the towers.
Lahen's still fishing. They don't have the best siege. Knight being on a control mage helps mitigate a lot of the effectiveness here. But if BLG get another member picked off, it's so easy for Gen G to go for the end. 18 seconds, 4.1K and growing. Red Bull Baron power play. Gen G stomping in these last few fights. One more blitz hook could just end it all.
And all you really want out of this Baron is more of the outer tower gold. You don't even want to mess around with inhibitor towers. You just wait for the Dragon Soul to come up. Your win con here of stacking the dragons into the soul for Gen G is online. You open up so much territory, and now look at that red quadrant of the jungle leading up to the dragon. They're gonna light that thing up with wards so that Lehens has an easier job of hooking in their next victim.
Also, one dragon away from that Mountain Soul, and Chovy is going to go for Jack Show's third, and then we have Canyon and Keen, both of which are going to feel basically indestructible, and they keep collapsing onto Bin.
Ben tried so hard to take Chovy out of the equation, but every other member of Gen G stepped up in his place. Now he's amongst three. Tack sweep to kick off. The hook already hit. The follow-up, and Chovy's on the way. Pays absolutely legendary.
Look at the mini-map. The rest of BLG can't even do anything because they kill him so quickly that now the roaming death squad is back to roaming. That rush on double Boots of Swiftness for the bottom lane, I just think was so cool from FaZe and Lehens. They just have permanent threat all over the map.
There's also no cross map. There's no Baron you can threaten. They already got the inner with that play earlier on. And for BLG, it's gonna have to take an insane multi-man wombo combo, but then start looking at who you actually can combo on Gen G. There's Fate's Call, there's GA, there's Edge of Night, and then you have two tanks. So really, your best target is Chovy, who on the Yone has a ton of threat and escape tools as well.
And in 2 minutes, he's very likely to have a Mountain Soul as well. Cooldowns are up across the board on both sides. We are poised for what could be one final fight. If BLG want to come back in this, it's going to take a lot more than one. But Gen G, Canyon looking again, trying to fish. The slow is there. Keen ready to follow up on, already out of the fight, Pays. Quick kill to follow. Knight trying to hold the line alongside Elf, but they want to open up this base.
There is a flank ward there. Do see that in the middle of the lane. But the problem is, like, even if you flank, they can just turn so easily. There isn't really anyone that can tank for seconds.
How do you flank 5 rocks? They get to the other side.
Hey, it's like, a rock. Wait a second.
Who do we attack here? Oh, shoot. Nope.
Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, I don't even know if that's like, if that's possible.
Yeah.
In a literal or in a metaphorical
this
way.
Is why,
I don't see it,
all I'm
Kobe.
saying is this is why we have weight classes in boxing. You're not allowed to fight someone who just weighs an extra 80 kilos. Quick arrow follow-up there. Pays legendary. It's a victory march. Gen G on the hunt. Sean doesn't quite fall, but Chovy wants to finish it. Quick flash out. Follow up there. Chovy smited out. Q3 to safety. And they're going to keep the push up in the mid lane. Keen ready to fish. Canyon and Lehens as well. The front line, the death squad marching into the base of BLG. The fall there on flashing out of his own base. Shockwave only connecting onto Canyon, and now the turn is there. The lethality Callista, and it's a slow goodbye tonight. He tries to get the damage down. Another elastic slingshot, but nowhere is safe for BLG in this game too. Double kill for Pays. 17, 1, and 5. The kills hand delivered by his teammates across every single fight.
They're just styling it up at this point. They could have just gone back, get the Baron, get the Mountain Soul, play it safe, play it clean, but instead, if Zach is ahead and he can just keep going and going and going, he's going to. And from this point on, seems insurmountable. Gen G, Mountain Soul is going to come through. I don't even think that there's an opportunity here for BLG to try and Hail Mary a Baron.
They see Lehens recalling, they walk up, Elk instantly yoinked in. He tried to pause for 1/2 of a second to get an auto off, and the hand just comes out.
There's also the fact that Bin tried to hookshot on top of Lehens, and then Keen is just there. He's just standing there menacingly.
They just want a 1v1 honor duel, just one time. Bin's like, send one person to a side lane, please.
If you see one Gen G member, you got to assume there are multiple there behind him.
Keen a bit exposed here, but there's the other Gen G member waiting in the darkness. Lehens over the wall, ready to try and land the hook.
This is really showing that team solidarity.
Yeah.
5 strong here for Gen G.
BLG just pushed back the second Gen G show anything. Their front line is too damn strong. BLG just don't have the time to kill them before Pays and Chovy get involved. Arrow body blocked. Baron falling. BLG Will they try to mount their last stand here? Knight's Veil, Keen though, already ready to kick the fight off. The Zac coming through, pays over the wall with the Pierce. Now the follow-up as well. Shun ulting, Chovy not quite gonna connect on his. Pulled back into the pit, the Fate Seals, not gonna do a lot. Elk gets taken out, pays legendary, and it just feels like the continuation of the victory lap in this game too for Gen G.
Too little, too late. Knight Shockwave doesn't do anything, and Vin was dealing with the supers in mid-wave, so he couldn't contribute anything to the fight. Gen G gonna pick up this Baron, and I imagine march down mid lane.
Yep, Lahens is going for another one, and he finds it. Bin gonna hookshot over the wall, though. We'll throw that fish back. Not quite big enough.
I think the fish tried really hard to get out, and we should give him the credit.
We'll let the fish go eat up a little bit more. Maybe next time they'll decide that it's worthy. But this time around, Gen G, Mountain Soul plus the Baron, all that's left is to party their way into the Gen G base.
Question for you both. Does 18 seem like a pretty big kill number?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it is actually the record. Pays is currently tied at most kills in MSI in a single game. And not a bold bet to think that he's probably going to own the record by the end of this one.
They got to get him to 20, right? And I want to call our minds back to one specific thing. Gen G in the TES series was in a I think at least for the first 2 games, it felt very similar. So I wonder if they're deliberately just dragging out this game just to make it feel more impressive. Like, imagine being BLG. You know, realistically, this game probably not going to go your way. TES fought back to a game 5.
All I'll say is that the fact that you're even bringing up the mental warfare angle just shows how ludicrously far ahead Gen G are. Lahens still looking for the hook. All it takes is one to pick off a member of BLG.
It should be an exciting finish, too, because Gen G will just dive. Gen G will dive over and over and over again.
Second inhibitor taken out, bought the last one standing. Empowered minions, supers. Keen charging the elastic slingshot. Where's he gonna go? Opts to go for the cancel. Stretching strikes doesn't hit. On, walks up, but it's just a tickle. Another stretching strike canceled. They're just trying to move the cannon minions in. Chovy now looking to find him, but doesn't hit. Crucially, though, Elk fires the ultimate, and now the fight's already kicked off. BLG trying to find their turn. BLG with Bin trying to find the angle. The Fate's call for Pays is there, and that's the kill record. 19 coming through for Pays. Will he make it 20? Gen G obliterating BLG in the base, but there's still 4 members standing. Pays continuing to walk forward. It's a shutdown onto Lahens. BLG will hold the line. Knock up for Shun. He wants to keep the fight going. Chovy now trying to back out, trying to buy a bit more space for the team. Q3 going through. He can snap back if he wants to.
Double GA.
Unstoppable, but on. Pops the GA. Can they finish him in the meantime? Pays, the Q angle is big. Chovy still living for an extra second. Canyon with the interrupt. I will finally get one. Pays wants to finish it right here. One more. The triple! The finish! The rend for Pays! Gen G are gonna go up 2-0.
That's 22 kills blown up by Pays. He dropped an absolute nuke here in game number 2.
Bin's
not
alive.
even ending.
Bin's alive. They can't finish.
He wants more. We can pump those numbers up. What's he gonna end at? We gotta take bets now. I mean, 25? Over 25? What are we looking at here?
Okay, Pays was, and I think justifiably so, together with Lance, the most criticized member of Gen G. They were one of the big weaknesses that this team had, perceived to be one of the struggling points. The top side always dependable within the LCK. And the fact that, particularly against Elk and On, they're able to have a performance like this, it's kind of mind-boggling.
Sorry, let me take that back. It's not just most in MSI. It's most in World's history as well. Most
any international.
At any international. Pays breaking records in a final, nonetheless. In a game 2 where you're already up 1-0. Gen G,
this is ridiculous.
Staying the path, and again, you brought up Pays struggling. He struggled in this tournament. Hell, Canyon has struggled in this tournament. He brought up the Nidalee. He's looked like a player revitalized. Gen G starting to feel like an impossible task, an impossible challenge. BLG doing what they can to hold on to the base here. Inhibitors are up. TP coming in. Canyon fishing for the angle. The ulti not going to connect. Chovy trying to time the Q3, but it doesn't hit. BLG want to go forward. 3 talent strike to hit Keen. Not to a lot of effect, however. They'll pop in. Delivered! Nice! Clutch! But Chovy wants to turn it back. Midfield is only going to hit down. He completely whiffs. BLG! Eyes on the prize! Focus! Determination! Gen G torn to pieces!
The Camille plus Shockwave combination we've been dreaming of!
Elder's coming up!
on flashes.
Wait, look at mid lane. Canyon is going mid lane. They want to keep the pressure on. They got enough people out. Still 3 people escaped for Gen G.
Can they kill Keen? Without Bin, that's the question. Canyon also can look for a steal, but oh my god, BLG!
They don't have damage, but they might not need it. Knight taken out of the pit. Keen now following up, trying to zone away the mid laner. Canyon off to the other side. The objective not focused. Gen G trying to bet it all just to disrupt the Elder, and Canyon continues to step up. It's another kill traded back with BLG are going to take the fight. They're burning through Canyon quickly, but now On's out of the equation. Shook with the shutdown. Elk still up for an extra second. Keen just wants to finish. Shook trying to body block this to give it Elk. Look at him! Look at the movement! It's unstoppable!
The Nexus! The minions are on the Nexus! The super minions! Let me see the health! Okay, it must not be that much.
Oh, but the inhib is going to go down, so they can't go for this Elder. We talked about this combo so many times, I didn't think we were going to see it, but right there, Bin and Knight breathe some life into this game.
This explosive potential on BLG just got a bunch of money, an injection of hope here for BLG, and it came with Bin flash delivering Knight's Shockwave. The dream combination there.
And Gen G, we're talking about mental warfare. They're still 10k gold up. If they manage to give away the lead in this game, if BLG have really fought their way back, can you imagine what that will do?
BLG starting the objective on, not quite there yet. Lahens.
Canyon is really far for a smite steal. They should just burn this. Just burn it.
They're gonna get it.
Burn it. Chovy on the way. All the combat power they could ask for, and Bin won't find the hook shot, won't find the wall dive. BLG taking the Elder.
The problem here is the base. State of the base, there's no TPs. Keen and Chovy don't have theirs available. And with 2 inhibs down, the top one is about to respawn. Gen G though should be able to trade, but the fact that BLG still holding on. Now with Elder, that's gonna buy them at least a couple of minutes extra. And we'll see if that's gonna be enough.
And we saw if you leave Elk, you can do so much work even more with the Elder, but the Baron will be up for an entire extra minute. Gen G have to play patient. They might not be stronger anymore in the 5v5s. Yes, they've got the gold lead, but the carries are online for the side of BLG.
Yeah, and Pays was, already had a full inventory, so, you know, he doesn't get any stronger here. Meanwhile, the BLG members do, and here it is. Bin says, give me the ball. I will deliver it. And the shockwave that opened up hope for BLG.
Chovy.
Right there. They take down Pays and they take down Chovy. That is all your damage. That is all of your damage for this team.
If Chovy hits an ultimate there, Gen G might be able to make the fight work, but because Pays dies immediately with sums up, but no GA, it's going to be at 1 minute on this Elder Sword. You got to imagine Gen G is calling to stall as long as they don't fight. They still have a ton of map pressure, but you see the burn, and you see the respect here from Gen G.
And Bin is scary. Elk is scary. If you split your cooldowns, if you don't focus down a single target, Boris is so damn tanky at this stage of the game with the Jackshaw, with the Terminus. Gen G, the execution was clean all across the early and mid game. They were set to win. They were set to close it out, but a single fight for BLG has brought them back, has brought them an Elder for another 40 seconds. Now it's on Gen G to stay composed, to rally against the push of BLG.
Oh, the timer slowly running out. And BLG, like at this point, that gold deficit isn't going to mean nearly as much. Gen G are still going to have to find a way to win a team fight if they actually want to end BLG here.
Perfect engage is no longer enough for Gen G. They need perfect follow-up. Chovy has to be there. They don't have the damage on their tanks to burst through the squishy targets anymore. Mountain Soul, I felt like it should have been it. So many moments felt like they should have been it for Gen G, but BLG just keep holding on.
They will never stop fighting. BLG will not go down in this game without a fight. Let's see if they've got another one in them. Bin's flash is coming back off of cooldown. They have waited enough time here. All of the summoner spells will be available again for BLG. I say give Bin the rock again and let him get to work.
This time around, the only advantage that Gen G still have is the fact that they are mostly in control of the map. Mid lane inhib though is about to respawn. That bot lane tower never fell, so that's still standing strong for Gen G. We're getting to the point in the game where if they lose the fight, that's just gonna be it. We're 38 minutes in. They have double GA, and they're gonna have to use that. They're gonna have to actually take down this Nexus. BLG stands tenacious.
Set up there. The slow march forward from Gen G.
Baron time's out.
Ulti goes in, on, caught out, but now the follow-up has to come through from the side of BLG. Ulti from Boris is there, but already keen into the back line, trying to keep things going. Flash back out, the shockwave whiffs. Chovy Q3 not gonna connect either. Pays still standing. Still doing a lot of work, but BLG holding for now. They've lost on. The repush gonna come through. Keen has TP.
He wants the TP back in. He is regenning. Gen G now looking for the end. Can BLG find it again? No shockwave.
Ends the flash. He hits Elk! In the clutch, he shows up, and now the turn. Now the fire back. BLG doing everything they can. Bin is still up, but he just can't find the right target. Trying to cut through Canyon. Trying to keep it going. Knight gonna get taken out by Keen, and in game 2, BLG may have found a fight. But Pays is breaking records, and Gen G are moving on to match point.
And credit to Canyon for the end. By Jungle Goat, he punishes On's positioning. On thought he was safe with the spell shield. Canyon went up, he smited it off, hit the ultimate.
It's a penta!
25!
Not only is it the most kills.
28, the new record. 28 kills for Pays.
No one's beaten that anytime soon.
This is a game that no one is going to forget for many reasons.
And he got 28 kills in an international final at the age of 18.
To move to match point against the best team in the LPL. Stunning performance from the side of Gen G. They can scale, they can play fast.
I was never worried, guys. Come on, they just had some fun.
Ultimately,
look at the smiles there.
And why wouldn't they be? They dove to give their AD a pentakill. You talked about mental warfare. BLG,
yeah.
You have to hope they can come back from that one. Let's head over to the analyst desk to break down game 2.